I often get asked a lot if things are going to get easier with all this intense energy that we're receiving. Are things going to start to smooth out or level out? Are there going to be any breaks? Those types of questions. In this video, I want to dive into my perspective on all that, how it relates to this expansion or evolution of consciousness, and really what we have to look forward to in the future. So, the first thing is we need to remember that as long as we're focused into this human vessel, into this denser physical reality, we experience moments as time. And because of that experience of time, it's really outside of the rules of this universe for things to change in an instant, like snap your fingers and things change. We're here to experience a progression. Just like we experienced a descension, we are now experiencing the opposite of that, an ascension, as we are rising back and our consciousness is expanding. So as that process unfolds, our physical body has to change. I remember years ago when I was in college how I bought a car and I built an engine for it and kind of made it a higher performance version. Those changes took time. I remember in the original car that I bought how very limiting it was because it just didn't have the handling, it didn't have the power that I wanted. So when I would drive it, I felt very, very limited. That's kind of like the human body as it was before you started this ascension process, right? Very limited, very limiting. Maybe you didn't even notice that because you were so conditioned to those limitations. But now you're awake, you're going through these shifts, these changes, you're integrating all of this light, all of this energy, and your body, your vessel is upgrading. And just as I upgraded the car, I had to go out and buy different components. I bought an engine, I built an engine, all the components for the engine, put it together. I had to install it. That took time, and gradually the car improved, became more freeing, right? Not as limiting. It was faster, it handled better, just overall more fun to drive. That's kind of what's happening with our body, and we are here to experience that as a progression. Now, as our vibration increases, time collapses, things happen very, very quickly. But we're still in the phases now where this environment is still dense enough where these changes take place over an extended period of time. That's why we call it an ascension process, right? Not an ascension flash or an ascension moment. These shifts happen gradually. Now, as we go through these shifts, we're going to feel high vibrational. You may feel moments of high vibration where you're very joyful, you're in the flow, you're feeling graceful, your energy is high. And then out of nowhere, maybe it's a trigger, maybe it's just out of nowhere, your vibration drops. You land more in a dense reality, you feel sluggish, you feel tired, you feel unmotivated. And this keeps happening over and over and over again. That's a normal part of the process. These are cycles that we go through. But you're going to notice as you continue to grow and you continue to not be so resistant to these cycles, but accept them and allow them as they come and honor each one of the cycles. When your vibration's high, you want to fully embody that and feel that. When your vibration is low, you want to feel that as well because that kind of keeps that cycle flowing, right? But you're going to notice over time that you're not just doing this, you're actually doing this. Okay, so you are rising. Okay, you're going to notice that the times when you're more dense, when you're heavy, when you're triggered, when you're feeling emotional, those tend to lessen. And the times that you're feeling a little more grounded, anchored, and stable may start to increase. You'll notice that when you get triggered, you're not so drawn into that for as long as maybe you have been in the past. Maybe something would trigger you, you'd be out for the count for a few days, just really angry, really upset, sitting in that energy, and now maybe a few hours you're dealing with it, you're feeling it, you're able to shift yourself out of it. Okay? You're going to notice that they don't linger like they did. That is your body being upgraded. Your body is starting to acclimate to a higher vibration. All right? It is returning to that higher vibration because you've brought it in and you've sat with it, you've embodied it long enough so that your subconscious now is aware of it. It realizes or recognizes that there is a higher vibrational you that is landing. So it no longer needs to hang out in the old. It can actually feel and experience the new because you've brought it in consciously. And as that happens over time, your system starts to adapt, your nervous system starts to change, and you start to actually build this neural circuitry, energetic circuitry within your physical body that aligns with a higher vibrational or more conscious you. And that happens over time. So if you're feeling like you just keep getting beaten down, you're hearing about all of these solar storms and these solar flares and all of this energy coming in and all of these activations, and you feel the heaviness of it, right? You feel like it's beating you down. First off, I want to address the heaviness, and the reason you're feeling the heaviness is because the light is landing and it is activating the density within your system. And as that density activates within your system, it rises up into your awareness so that you can feel it. So the fact that you're actually feeling the heaviness is a validation that the light is landing, the light is arriving. It's trying to create space within your body, just like that car. It's trying to upgrade. So your physical body is trying to upgrade so that it can operate from a much higher performance perspective. I guess we could call it that, right? If we're using that car analogy. But when your body raises its vibration, your physical vessel, it can hold more light, meaning it can hold more information, meaning you become more conscious. You start to activate more DNA. You start to bring forward more knowledge, more knowing, more connected to the 0 point field, the Akashic records, however you want to term it. All that information, your guides, right? That starts to become more available to you because the vessel has been upgraded. It's now like a sports car, right? So when that starts to happen, those periods of heaviness, they do come, they continue to come, but what happens is they don't stick around as long because your body finally realizes and knows that there is a higher performance version of you, a higher consciousness version of you here, that when it forgets that momentarily in the heaviness of these activations or when you get triggered, it remembers it. It's led back to it very, very quickly, right? We could use our breath to lead it back to it, right? When we get present, the system, your nervous system feels that and it lets go and it moves back into a more aligned, higher vibrational you. So as we continue to expand, those cycles will continue. The cycles will start to look different, but this is going to go on and on and on. I don't believe there's an end point to it at this point from where I sit, where all of that's going to stop, because we don't ever discard any aspects of ourselves, not even the traumatized ones. They're there, but what happens is as you continue to expand, they don't contribute as much to your experience. They're still there. They'll pop their head up on occasion. You'll feel it occasionally. It'll wobble you, but those wobbles are going to become more subtle because you're going to be more anchored in your light, right? So the more anchored you become in the light, the less effect those traumas, that dense energy has on you. Okay, so don't think about this as discarding any of that old energy. Think about it as carrying it, loving it. It's there, but it's not wobbling you like it used to. So I know I've had comments on my videos, people that have gone through many dark nights of the soul. I've been through many, some that have lasted a long time, some that have lasted maybe a few days. These are these cycles that I was talking about earlier in the video. These cycles are going to continue, but you're going to realize that the triggers, the heaviness when it activates and comes up into your field, into your experience, it's not going to last as long. It's not going to be as heavy. You're not going to dive as deeply into it because you are creating a new upgraded physical vessel that can hold the light. And because of that, these old traumas, these wounds, these shadows, when they do rise up, they're not going to have that kind of an effect on you that they've had in the past. So things will start to smooth out. And as that happens, you're available you have the space in your body to actually bring in more light, so that more intense light, right? These solar storms and things are going to activate more of those shadows within you. They're going to rise up. You're going to feel it. It's going to wobble you, but you're going to quickly be able to recenter. You do it consciously if you have to. You focus on your breath. You remove yourself from whatever's going on in your reality. You give yourself the space, but eventually your nervous system, your subconscious, is going to start to remember those moments of peace on its own. That's that new circuitry being built that I was talking about, right? These new energetic pathways in your body, your subconscious is going to start to match that on its own without you having to even do anything about it. That's what we call reprogramming the subconscious mind. So you become less reactive, you become less affected by the triggers, by the shadows, by the wounds as they rise up. You find yourself more anchored. Doesn't mean that they're not there. They're there. You feel them, you acknowledge them, you love them, but they don't have the kind of control over you that they did in the past. And as you become more stable and more anchored, other people around you will experience that and feel that as well. That's how we actually light up the world and change the world. So many people are going through these wobbles. So many people are still unconscious. They don't even know what it is. They're so distracted with work and with their lives, but they feel something deep within. When they could see that stability and that light within you, that stable, energetic, loving, high vibrational presence, that reminds them of who they are. That's how we have a huge effect on what's happening around the world, what's happening with this ascension process, and that's really what we could do to help stabilize the collective so that we all can rise gracefully. That's why we're here. We're all here to experience this together. So do your part, tend to what's going on in here. That will reflect out into your reality. And we're going to notice that at some point, things are going to just start moving along more synchronized, more gracefully, less wobbles, less chaos. The veil will thin even further. Things will become much more clear.